Why does sex feel good? It's one of the strangest facts of life. If the purpose of sex is reproduction, why attach pleasure to it? The answer starts with evolution. Evolution does not plan. It does not think. It only rewards what works. And for millions of years, one thing worked better than almost anything else. Pleasure? Because if something feels good, you repeat it. That's one of the oldest survival mechanisms in biology. Eating feels good because you need food. Drinking feels good because you need water. Rest feels good because you need recovery. And sex feels good because genes need to continue. Pleasure is nature's incentive system, a reward mechanism. Not for your happiness, but for your participation. And the machinery behind that reward is ancient. Deep in your brain is a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is not happiness, it's motivation, anticipation, wanting. It drives you toward things linked to survival: food, safety, connection, sex. When sexual arousal begins, dopamine surges. Your brain starts focusing, prioritizing, obsessing. And during orgasm, multiple systems activate at once: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, prolactin. It's one of the most chemically intense experiences the human brain can produce, which makes sense, because evolution needed it to matter. But humans are not the only animals who feel pleasure during sex. That's a myth. Scientists have observed sexual behavior in dolphins, bonobos, chimpanzees, dogs, rats, and even some birds that cannot be explained purely by reproduction. Take bonobo. Bonobos are one of our closest relatives, and they use sex constantly, not just to reproduce, to bond, to reconcile after conflict, to reduce tension, to form alliances, sometimes for comfort, sometimes for social stability. Sex in bonobos is social glue. Then there are dolphins. Dolphins have sex year-round, not just during fertile windows. They engage in same-sex sexual behavior, playful sexual behavior, repeated sexual contact with no obvious reproductive outcome, which strongly suggests pleasure. And rats? Scientists have shown rats will work repeatedly, pressing levers over and over for the opportunity to mate, not for food, not for safety, for sex. That tells us the reward system is real. So yes, other animals feel sexual reward too. But humans took it further, much further. Because humans combined sex with something rare: self-awareness, memory, emotion, meaning. For most animals, sex is an event. For humans, it can become a story, a relationship, a bond, and this changes everything. Because human babies are extraordinarily vulnerable. They take years of care, longer than almost any other species. And for ancient humans, keeping caregivers bonded dramatically increased survival. So, evolution likely strengthened something unusually deep: pair bonding. Not unique to humans, but unusually strong and emotionally layered. That's where oxytocin becomes important again. During sex, oxytocin increases. It builds trust, attachment, closeness. It helps turn desire into connection. Sex stopped being only about making life. It became a way of maintaining relationships, strengthening families, holding communities together. And that may explain something important. Why humans often want sex even when reproduction isn't possible. Because your brain doesn't separate sex into one category. It's layered: pleasure, bonding, validation, comfort, stress relief, connection. Sometimes love, sometimes loneliness, sometimes all of them at once. And here's where it gets deeper. Humans are among the few species who are consciously aware of their own mortality and the passage of time in an abstract way. We know life ends. We know time runs out. We know bodies age. And sex, at its deepest biological level, is tied to the continuation of life. Even when no child is conceived, the act itself still carries that ancient biological meaning: connection, continuation, presence. For a moment, two separate nervous systems synchronize. Heart rates rise, breathing aligns, Brains flood with chemicals, walls drop, and for a few seconds, the self softens. That may be part of why humans chase it so intensely, not just because it feels good, but because it briefly dissolves the feeling of being alone. So, do other animals feel pleasure during sex? Yes, many probably do. But humans turned that pleasure into something much larger, into bonding, into intimacy, into love, into family, into identity. Because for us, sex isn't just reproduction, it's communication, it's comfort, it's vulnerability, it's biology becoming emotion. And maybe that's the strangest part. Nature built sex to continue life, but humans used it to create meaning. And sometimes, those are not the same thing.